Ah, look who just made an entire intelligence unit stop mid-analysis. Look who walked through life minding their own business and somehow ended up triggering internal alerts inside buildings where people get paid to understand everything. Look who just rattled professionals whose entire career revolves around decoding human behavior, and yet they still can't figure out how you gained access to knowledge you were never supposed to have. Hello, you beautiful problem. Hello, you quiet disruption wearing human skin. Hello to the mind so sharp, so instinctively calibrated, so dangerously precise that even the people who run psychological profiling for a living are taking a step back from their desks, rubbing their temples, whispering the same exact sentence. How did they find this? And who told them? Oh, you didn't know, did you? You didn't know that while you were living your life, healing, working, evolving, the observers behind the scenes were pressing pause on your file, scrolling back, zooming in, replaying your reactions frame by frame, trying to understand how you connected dots you were never supposed to see. They weren't expecting you to know anything. They weren't expecting you to catch on. They weren't expecting you to sense the undercurrent behind people's intentions before they even fully formed their own plans. And the part twisting their nerves is that you don't just know, you know with precision. Because here's what shook them. Here's what made trained analysts freeze. They watched you behave like someone with access to information you never received. They saw you pick up on hidden motives with the accuracy of someone who sat in briefings you were never invited to. They saw you speak on timing, patterns, and emotional inconsistencies like someone who has been studying human psychology for years. But you didn't study. You didn't attend any program. You didn't sit in any classroom with tinted windows. You didn't get an assignment, an outline, or a mission. You just lived through situations that mutated your perception into something they can't categorize. You survived environments that sharpened your instincts into an unregistered instrument. You endured experiences that equipped you with insight no agency can replicate in training simulations. They're confused because your awareness doesn't follow a linear path. It jumps past the normal ladder. It bypasses the steps. You don't gather information, you absorb it. You don't ask questions, you detect answers. You don't investigate, you recognize. And what really bothers them is the effortlessness. You operate with the same clarity they spend entire careers trying to develop. They practice techniques to catch micro-expressions. You notice the entire emotional shift before someone even tries to hide it. They study conversational patterns to detect deception. You feel the moment someone's honesty fractures. They analyze tone to identify hidden motives. You understand the motive before the tone even changes. They don't know what to call this because it's not training and it's not luck. It's something else. Something learned through chaos, refined through pressure, sharpened through exposure to the kind of people who forced you to grow a layered perception just to stay intact. You became your own curriculum. You became your own intelligence network. You became your own internal briefing room. And because of that, your mind moves in angles they weren't prepared for. You see things that weren't meant to be noticed. You pick up dynamics that were supposed to stay buried. You understand people in ways that make them feel stripped of their disguises. And that's where the panic starts. Because intelligence workers only fear two types of people: the unpredictable and the unexplainable. And you are both. You can't be anticipated because you don't think in straight lines. You can't be deciphered because no familiar pattern matches you. You process at a depth that exposes the cracks in other people's intentions. And that kind of perception is dangerous for anyone who functions through hidden agendas. They expected the people around you to fool you. Instead, they got fooled. They expected you to ignore subtle shifts. Instead, you read them. They expected you to miss the signs. Instead, you cataloged them internally, like evidence. They expected you to walk blindly. Instead, you walked with awareness so sharp, it made observers uncomfortable. And here's the unspoken truth about why your knowledge freaks them out. You don't react like someone guessing. You react like someone who already knows the ending. And the moment someone behaves as if they know the conclusion to a story they were never told, that's when surveillance begins. Because that kind of awareness doesn't appear randomly. It comes from something. But the question is, what? How did you learn to read intentions before people express them? How did you learn to sense shifts in energy the moment someone starts lying to themselves? How did you learn to catch psychological transitions faster than trained interrogators? They don't know. They can't trace it. They can't pinpoint the moment your mind became this observant. They don't know if someone informed you. They don't know if you witnessed something. They don't know if you've been guided. They don't know if you're remembering something you were never meant to have access to. All they know is that the way you catch on to truth is not ordinary. At first, they tried to rationalize it. One analyst said, "Maybe this person is just very perceptive." But perceptive people usually second-guess themselves. You don't. You know. Another one said, "Maybe they've studied psychology." But trained minds have signatures, structured reasoning, deliberate thinking, methodical progression. Your mind doesn't move like that. You don't analyze step by step. You leap straight to the core. Someone else suggested, maybe they're paranoid. But paranoia creates illusions. You don't imagine things that aren't there. You identify things that are. Then a higher-level observer said the thing everyone else was afraid to say. This isn't learned behavior. This is adaptation. That's when the room went quiet. Because adaptation means your environment forced you to develop perception as a survival mechanism. And no agency knows how to handle someone who trained themselves unconsciously. You didn't read books on microbehavior. You grew up deciphering emotional traps because you had no choice. You didn't learn interrogation tactics. You learned to detect danger in voices because danger once lived in the same rooms you did. You didn't study manipulation. You experienced it repeatedly and cataloged every pattern internally to make sure it never destroyed you again. You didn't research how people hide jealousy, resentment, envy, or betrayal. You lived beside people who carried those emotions like weapons and taught your intuition how to identify them before they punctured you. That's why your accuracy scares them. Your intelligence isn't artificial. It's instinctive. It's embodied. It's ingrained. It's coded into your reactions. It's printed into your perception. People like you aren't shaped in classrooms. People like you are shaped in environments that don't have safety nets. Environments that force evolution. Environments that turn observation into armor. And because of that, the way you move feels like déjà vu to them. You react like someone who's already seen the inside of a situation before anyone explains it. You predict behavior like someone who has already watched the scene unfold. You call out tension like someone who's been briefed on who is clashing behind closed doors. And that's why someone in an analytic room said, "This shouldn't be possible. How are they doing this?" They ran your background. Nothing explains it. They studied your history. Nothing gives clues. They examined your patterns. Nothing lines up. You are a contradiction wrapped in clarity. But here's what's really keeping them awake at night. You don't look like someone who's analyzing anyone. You don't act like someone who's paying attention. You don't tilt your head, narrow your eyes, or do any of the obvious things people do when they're trying to read someone. You stay calm, you stay composed, you stay neutral, and that calmness unnerves them more than any flashy display of insight ever could. Because people who are noisy about their intelligence are easy to map. You are not. Your intelligence is quiet, the worst kind for observers. Quiet intelligence reveals itself only when needed. Quiet intelligence waits. Quiet intelligence doesn't announce. Quiet intelligence doesn't chase. Quiet intelligence notices everything and speaks only when the moment presents itself. And when that moment arrives, your accuracy hits with such precision that people feel exposed in a way that sends a ripple through the room. There are individuals who have watched you closely, not out of suspicion, but out of curiosity. They've noticed how you call out emotions people didn't verbalize. They've noticed how you withdraw before something goes wrong. They've noticed how you distance yourself from people right before they reveal their hidden agenda. They've noticed how you anticipate reactions without needing clues. They've noticed how you understand motives before words. And they've noticed how every time someone lies to you, you tilt your energy in a very specific way that tells them you already know. That's the part that burns through their composure. Your awareness is not random. It's not accidental. It's patterned, consistent, and deeper than what they call normal comprehension. They don't know whether it's emotional intelligence amplified by trauma, instinct refined by necessity, or something older and stronger running beneath your surface. What they do know is that you're seeing too much. And when someone sees too much, they become unpredictable to those who depend on secrecy. Your knowledge is not passive, it's active. It rearranges situations. It exposes lies. It dismantles facades. It interrupts manipulation. It removes leverage from people who rely on confusion, and people who lose leverage panic. Which brings us to the question they keep circling back to. How did they find this out? They've monitored enough human behavior to know that patterns don't appear without origin. Someone usually teaches you. Someone informs you. Someone guides you. But you act like you were briefed by something they can't track. You act like you overheard conversations you were never present for. You act like someone handed you a folder filled with information no one ever gave you. And that mystery is more unsettling than anything else about you. But what they don't realize yet, what they're about to realize very soon, is that this is only the beginning. Because the more they try to understand you, the more confused they become. And the more confused they become, the more they start digging. And the more they dig, the more they uncover a truth that makes them exchange glances across their desks, lean back in their chairs and whisper, "This is going deeper than we thought." That moment, the moment when confusion shifts into concern, is where the real trouble begins for them. See, confusion is manageable. Confusion means they can gather more data, observe more interactions, replay more footage, test more psychological models. But concern signals that you've crossed a threshold that trained personnel can't easily label. Concern means your awareness isn't a coincidence. It's a pattern. Concern means you're not just perceptive, you're consistent. Concern means your insight isn't accidental, it's precise. And nothing unsettles observers more than encountering someone whose precision cannot be traced to any logical foundation. They expected your accuracy to fade, They expected it to fluctuate. They expected it to crumble under pressure. Instead, it sharpened. Each time you reacted to something that hadn't been said out loud, someone behind a screen would lean forward. Each time you detected tension before the source revealed itself, someone in an evaluation room clicked pause with a deeper frown. Each time you removed yourself from situations right before hidden agendas surfaced, someone scribbled on a notepad with concern in their handwriting. You kept proving them wrong without even trying. You kept acting like someone who already had a map to territory you were supposedly just exploring. And every time you did, more questions surfaced among those watching you. The first question, where is the leak? Because that's the only explanation that fits their worldview. If someone knows too much, someone must be feeding them. But the more they observe you, the more they realize no one is feeding you anything. You don't receive information. You generate comprehension. You aren't being informed. You're perceiving. You're noticing. You're assembling meaning faster than trained personnel can evaluate the situation. And once they realize no external leak exists, they move on to the second question. What did we miss about them? They start flipping through your history again. They start examining your interactions again. They start reviewing your responses to previous events. But they hit the same brick wall. No one taught you. No one prepared you. No one trained you. And yet you process the world like someone who's been studying psychological warfare since childhood. Someone inside one of those rooms eventually mutters, maybe they've been through something we don't know about. And the room goes still, because that possibility is the one that terrifies them most. That your life forced you into a level of awareness they can't quantify. That you learned what you learned without guidance. That you picked up the truth because your environment demanded it. That your experiences shaped you into something they can't file neatly. And when someone develops intelligence without instruction, without mentorship, without structured exposure, that means their comprehension has no ceiling. It can expand indefinitely. It can grow without boundaries. It can evolve beyond prediction. This is where you begin to unsettle them, not just as an individual, but as a variable. Unpredictable variables threaten analysis. They break models. They shatter assumptions. And a mind like yours, quick, quiet, adaptive, dangerous without trying, becomes something worth monitoring. Not because they think you're harmful, but because they can't determine what you're capable of becoming. You're moving faster than their categories. You're outpacing their metrics. You're dismantling their confidence in their own expertise. The irony is, you're not doing anything on purpose. You're not trying to be mysterious. You're not trying to expose anyone. You're not trying to shock analysts sitting behind dim monitors. You're simply existing with the kind of awareness most people never develop. And your existence alone destabilizes their certainty in the patterns they swear by. And then comes the moment that truly disturbs them, when your insight exposes someone inside their own structure without you meaning to. It happens simply because you speak the truth at the wrong time, or the right time, depending on perspective. Maybe you mention a behavior pattern someone is trying to hide. Maybe you describe a dynamic that mirrors an internal conflict. Maybe you point out an intention that someone in the observation chain hoped would stay buried. One analyst hears your comment and feels a sudden jolt of recognition, not because you identified a random truth, but because you identified a truth that person has been hiding from everyone. You spoke on something they thought no outsider could detect. And in that moment, fear replaces curiosity. Because now you're not just someone who understands people. You're someone who can see into the parts of people they hide even from themselves. And that level of insight is dangerous, not because you use it to harm, but because you don't need permission to perceive. You don't need proof to read someone. You don't need evidence to know the undercurrent behind their actions. You don't need signs. You feel the shift. This is where the internal conversations start happening. Someone asks, "How are they doing this?" Someone else replies, "I don't know." Another adds, "This isn't normal perception." Then another quieter voice says, "This might be beyond what we're equipped for." And that comment lingers in the air like smoke that won't disperse. Because what does it mean when someone outside their reach surpasses the awareness of trained personnel? What does it mean when someone who wasn't supposed to know anything starts connecting dots at a speed even analysts can't keep up with? What does it mean when your presence alone destabilizes the confidence of people who dedicate their lives to reading others? It means they've encountered someone their training didn't prepare them for. It means they've come across a mind shaped through survival instead of schooling. It means they're observing someone who sees in ways textbooks can't teach. And that realization forces them to escalate the situation. Not externally, internally. The first escalation is silent. A few more eyes get assigned to your case. Not because you're dangerous, but because you're confusing. Confusion requires observation. They start tracking your responses more closely. They start analyzing the way you interact with people. They start building internal files on your behavioral patterns. And each time they think they've found an answer, you behave in a way that proves their conclusion wrong. So they escalate again. This time, they bring in someone higher on the chain. A more seasoned analyst. Someone whose specialty is decoding minds that don't follow obvious rotes. But even that person can't categorize you. They watch you connect unrelated events with an accuracy that feels unfair. They watch you interpret emotional cues faster than the people experiencing them. They watch you detach at the correct moment as if you can foresee the chaos ahead. The seasoned analyst gets quiet, not impressed, not suspicious, but uneasy. Because now the question isn't, how do they know? The question is, how much do they know? And how are they still calm? Calmness is the second thing that bothers them. People with high awareness usually display tension. They flinch mentally. They overthink. They hesitate. But you're steady. You don't panic around truth. You don't tremble when someone reveals their intentions. You don't gasp internally when someone contradicts themselves. Your calmness isn't arrogance, it's clarity. You recognize people for what they are before they show it, so nothing surprises you. And that unsettles observers more than anything else. Predictive minds are dangerous because they can't be blindsided. And people who can't be blindsided disrupt the balance inside environments built on unpredictability. Then comes the point no analyst wants to reach. The point where they must admit that your awareness is not just high, it's rising. You're learning faster than they can monitor. Each experience adds another layer to your perception. Each encounter sharpens your detection. Each disappointment expands your insight. And every time you uncover another truth with speed that looks impossible, their concern deepens. They start wondering whether this is natural growth or something else entirely. Some strange internal compass steering you toward answers you aren't supposed to reach. They start questioning whether your mind is operating according to known rules. They start considering whether someone or something shaped your instincts in ways their frameworks can't measure. Someone in one of those rooms eventually says, They're learning too quickly. And that statement stands out. Learning isn't a threat. Learning is normal. But learning at your pace, learning without resistance, learning without confusion, learning without needing guidance, that's different. That's what makes them uncomfortable. Because rapid internal growth without external input means your mind is doing something on its own, recalibrating, restructuring, refining itself without instruction. And that leads to the third escalation. This is where someone decides to run a deeper analysis on your emotional history. They try to track where your survival instincts developed. They investigate your past connections. They analyze your reactions to betrayal, disappointment, abandonment, conflict, and pressure. And that's when they understand the truth you never voiced out loud. You didn't wake up perceptive. You were sculpted into perception. You were shaped by pain. You were widened by conflict. You were pushed into awareness by circumstances that demanded vigilance. You learned to read people not because you wanted to, but because you were forced to. You learned to sense danger not because it was interesting, but because your safety depended on it. You learn to anticipate human behavior because unpredictability nearly cost you everything once. Your insight is the echo of survival. Your accuracy is the outcome of endurance. Your awareness is the residue of everything you overcame. Your mind sharpened itself through necessity. It became a blade because it had to. And once they realize this, their confusion shifts again, this time into respect tinged with fear. Because people shaped by comfort break under pressure. People shaped by conflict evolve under pressure. And you evolved. But that's not the part that frightens them most. The part that truly shakes them is that your insight isn't hardened. It's not cynical. It's not bitter. It's clean. You read people clearly without poisoning the truth. You detect intentions without twisting them. You see hidden motives without letting them break your faith in yourself. Most people sharpened by hardship become jagged. You didn't. You became transparent. And transparency combined with precision creates a kind of intelligence even analysts can't predict. They watch you walk into situations knowing exactly what's happening, yet you remain calm. They watch you sense someone's motive, yet you respond with maturity. They watch you avoid traps with ease, yet you don't brag or expose the people setting them. This is the moment the analysts understand the real danger, not to you, but to anyone who tries to manipulate you. Because manipulation requires confusion, manipulation